All right, guys, we're here to start another pondless waterfall, and we're close to Sacandaga Lake. We're actually in the town of Galloway. But what's weird is the lake is not that far away.
You mind if we go swimming?
Beach day.
No Speedo, Jay. No Speedo at all.
Can I wear my two-piece?
No. I don't think any of the viewers want to see you in a two-piece.
No.
I don't even know what a two-piece consists of for a man, but, you know.
No, it's a bikini for guys.
Can we just talk about the waterfall?
Yeah, that would be better.
All right, so we're going to get started right now. We're going to do a little walkthrough on what we're anticipating that's going to happen. But, geez, with these three, where's Jack?
Here he is.
Jack, he's unloading tools.
I said three. We do have one more guy here, but he's over there. I think he's afraid to come near us on Mondays.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a walkthrough here before this introduction goes really bad. Quickly. So what our anticipation is there's this really nice screen room, and when you look through from the screen room is their dining room table, so you're going to get a clear view of this waterfall. What we want to do is bring that pondless reservoir pit, whatever you might want to call it, over in this section. We want to make sure that we don't tuck it too close to the screen room because they are going to have to maintain this, paint it, and maybe change the screens and whatnot. So we want to leave at least a 3-foot buffer there for a ladder. And also the fact that this porch is elevated, you want to make sure that you don't put the pit too close because then you won't be able to see that last waterfall drop. This mammoth rock we have here is about 7 feet long. It's probably 4.5 feet at one side, 3.5 on the other. We're going to try and incorporate that. I'm just hoping that this 57 will move that big rock, but time will tell. And the beauty part is all the rocks that we're going to use in this feature are going to come from this property. So all of you out there that have been watching us all along since we started our YouTube channel, you know how much I love rock. We are taking all the rock from this property, and look at these beauties. They already have lichen. They got a little bit of moss and stuff on them. They're native to the property. They're here. It's really nice, and we can incorporate that. We're going to snake those couple out from underneath that tree, and way over there, I think you can see it, there is a big long stone wall. So Kyle's already saved this tiny little fern that we're going to reincorporate. It's right over there by that orange bucket, and he also saved a newt today. Kyle is always thinking about our environment. Right, Kyle?
I love the animals and plants.
Even at home, you have tanks and
you know, an enormous amount of house plants. Too many, I think.
What do you got there, Jay?
I got some
environmentally
Repel Insect Sportsman's Max with 40 DEET, Al. Now I know you like usually 80 or 100% DEET, but I only got 40 for you today, and I think we're gonna need it because the bugs are out.
Listen, the only time I used 100% DEET was when I was in Africa, and there you needed it. That was like putting butter on your arms. It was so thick.
No kidding.
You got a raincoat on. I don't think you're gonna need that bug spray today.
Yeah.
Kyle, you using bug spray?
Not yet. I'll give it a little bit.
I'm going organic today. I'm gonna let them bite me. You know, Jay, even though we get sand, there's still a lot of rock in this stuff.
There is. This sand seems to be hard packed.
You know how sometimes everything's just easy for certain people?
Yes.
Do you ever notice it's not for us?
I was just going to say, do you notice sometimes everything's difficult for some people?
And listen, if it's not, you'll make it difficult for us. So anyway, right now Jason is getting all of our aqua blocks in our pondless vault all dry fitted. Jack was in there cleaning it up for us. I don't know where he went, but I think he's getting underlayment. So what's going to be the next stage is we're going to pull all that stuff out after it's dry fit. We're going to put our underlayment down, then our liner, put all our components back with another layer of fabric over top of the liner just to protect it from those aqua blocks. And then the fun begins because we get to start building the waterfall. So one of the things we like to do is make our pondless reservoirs much lower than grade. So then that way, especially when you got an elevation like this porch behind us, when you're looking down in, you'll have one recessed waterfall so you can get the most out of this for viewing and just interaction. So right now, Kyle is getting this rock strapped up, and there's really not a bad side of this. But the way we're looking at this is that this side right here, we're gonna put against the bank. This is gonna be exposed towards the screen room. And then this cutout right here, we're gonna use to help flank a waterfall, but you're just gonna have to watch to see what we do with the rest of these rocks. We picked these all out of the hedgerow. There's not a bad rock here. It's just a matter of positioning them exactly the way we want so we get some really cool waterfalls and movement of the rock throughout the whole stream bed. So we are getting started here this morning, and one of the things we wanted to do to surprise them, they are not home today, so we're gonna take and put a few small slab steps in, because as the kids get bigger, we were gonna want them to be able to transition down some nice soft steps and be able to interact with this waterfall. We got all these big rocks in here. We placed that one flat one right there and that other big one to the right, just so that they have places to sit and just interact with the waterfall stuff. Then out in the back, we just set that really big rock, and we're gonna do waterfalls on either side of that, just to make it so when you're sitting on that rock, you have some interaction with the water on both sides. It's real important for kids to be able to experience this kind of stuff, because in this day and age, they really don't get that much. But living out here in the country like this, they're always getting to play with nature, and this is just going to enhance that experience. The one thing is, yesterday it was pouring rain. The kids are outside. They're interacting with the rain, they're on their swings, and they really didn't care. And it's so good to see that, because that's how all of us grew up. Right, old man?
Me? Yeah. That's it. I loved being outside when I was a kid. As a matter of fact, I don't think my mother let me stay inside.
Well, we got kicked out.
It wasn't a thing.
Right?
Kicked out of the house.
Even like Kyle's in his 20s and his mother was old school. I don't know, Jack, you're pretty young. What about you?
I like being outside, I like fishing.
Did your mother kick you out?
She just kicks me out just because I'm annoying.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so we better get this day rolling, and you're just going to have to watch along and see what we come up with for these other waterfalls.
We have the start of day 3. We've got probably 90% of the stream done. Kyle's starting to rinse all the rocks. We're gonna get this filled here. I am starting to do some of the plumbing. So here on this part, I've put in a ball valve to control the flow of the water we're gonna have coming up over this wear rock. Ooh, right there, that wear rock. Next, I'll be plumbing in a spillway over in this area. And that rock that the pipe's laying on is gonna be our other wear rock. We've got Jack fixing ruts out back there. He's doing a nice job there. So we're gonna get to it here. We'll keep you updated.
So in the beginning of the video, we showed you this huge rock we were going to try and incorporate. It was actually very, very hard to lift with our size machine, and our machine lifts a lot of heavy rock. This is actually recessed in the ground. We couldn't get it in the liner, but it makes an awesome bench. I mean, there's 4 people in this family, so think about how you can spread out on that, enjoy the sound of the water. Plus, for the little kids, I wanted to have an area where they could kind of just hang out. One of the elements that we want to incorporate is these little steps for them to get down in if they want to check out this bottom waterfall. Now, this is our pondless pit. It has all of our aqua blocks and stuff in there, very structural, and there's very little water. We purposely only put a little water in there because the kids are very young, and if you want to raise the water level down the road, you can. But check out all this rock that came off the property. All the lichen and moss. Look how brilliant green that is. We're in low light right now with a little bit of rain. The water is cloudy, I get that. But Andrew's coming back tomorrow, and he's gonna film this with clear water. We pumped it, we rinsed it. It's just very hard to get the sediment out of stuff, especially when you're picking all these boulders out of the woods. But I'm gonna let you decide on what your favorite waterfall is, because we created a couple of different kinds. Now, these lower and this mid section, I would consider a boulder falls, and that's what I really like to build, because in our area, we are right at the foothills of the Adirondacks, and this is what you see in the streams, like these rounded off rocks where the water is just continually eroding and moving and changing paths. It's like that little horsetail that's coming back over into here. I mean, that rock had that little V in there, and we just wanted to set them up so it had a bunch of different little falls coming off that one rock. Now, when I pivot over here to this side, we have this little horseshoe falls that's going down in the center. We put this rock right here because it's nice and flat on top. The kids would actually sit on top of that rock and put their feet in the water. And then up on top, we did this big pooling area. Think about it. They don't have a swimming pool here, so on a nice hot day, they can get in there, get their feet wet, sit on these rocks, and interact with these small type sheet waterfalls that we have up here. It's a very gentle flow. We didn't want anything vigorous, so we took one adjustable 5 to 9 pump and split it out so we could have that just a little bit of serene sound and interaction with the kids when they get up in there. And then we have that huge rock that we found, another bench seat. I mean, how can you go wrong with these rocks? Over in this, we have a little pocket here where the water is just trickling down in just enough to get those wet, and then they'll kind of thrive in that section. Now, that plant right there, the one upright grass, which is an ogon, is only going to get that high, so that's why I put it there. I don't want to plant anything that's going to cover up these waterfalls. Now that you can see these rocks from the upper part, look how I was talking about. It just looks how that water just kind of kept eroding through there from years and just kind of made its own path. And that's the cool part about these rocks that we took out of the woods. Then when you're coming back over into here, we have a couple of small rocks in here where they could step off into with some plants, and we just made those upper areas look like they were welled up springs just coming out of nature. All right, that's a wrap. I think everybody did an awesome job here. I'm super happy with the outcome. What's your guys' thoughts? I mean, I know what I think, but I can never tell what you're thinking.
I think it turned out great. It really did. It's really cool when you could pull the rocks from the property. It fits right in. It's just a natural thing. I don't like the flies.
I don't think any of us do.
Well, did you shower today? It's not those kind of flies. What do you, Kyle, what's your thoughts on this?
I enjoyed it. It was really cool. And like Jay said, being able to, kind of pick stuff from the wood line and everything like that, it was really cool. And it turned out awesome.
All right, so Jack, this is Jack's first season with us, and he's one of them young bucks. What are you, 16? Yep. All right, well. That explains a lot. Yep. Anyway, now that you've had a couple projects under your belt, I mean, you like this one better than others? I mean, what's your thoughts, buddy? Maybe the younger people out there that want to build ponds want to hear from you.
I like this one because we incorporated things for especially the kids, and then just the people in general, for them to interact with the waterfall is cool.
That was really good.
It's pretty damn good.
All right, so that's a wrap. If you want to see Jack, Kyle, and yes, Jason. If you like this sort of thing, please subscribe, hit the bell, get notified, do whatever you got to do. And as always,
Enjoy your families.